So, hello, good evening to all of you. Thanks very much for this display of talents, which is the least we can say. As you told, yes, I'm a musician. I'm a Western classical conductor. My last performance, in fact, was not performance, was a CD recording 3 weeks ago. It was, of course, in Europe, because Western classical music is easier to hear, to listen to, and to perform in Europe. This was music by a composer close to Beethoven, just the beginning of the 19th century. Bravo for what I've heard. I would like to take 3 of you, just to have my comment. First, this is no ranking at all. First, I'm thinking of what you think this love melody, which was taken from this film of 1958, which was probably in D minor or not very far from D minor. And it's funny because, when I was listening to you, it's good that you told that it was 1958, so quite a long time ago. Because it was very reminiscent of, in fact, Western classical music or entertainment music. The first, because it was a waltz, of course, this is the first thing. The second thing is that it has some echoes from the, let's say, Central Europe. And what was more, even more, not strange, but unexpected, is that it had something of Greek music in it. I don't know if it was a bouzouki who was playing, but it was not far, this kind of plugged instrument. So just to say that this music, it gives one thing very important, is that this music, but everybody knows, when I'm saying this, I'm inventing nothing, that's a sort of universal means, because look, take this. It could have been composed, by somebody from Budapest or from Thessaloniki or etc., etc. So bravo for this very nice thing. The second, I would like to thank you, especially to congratulate you for the quality of intonation. Because, of course, when you are a singer as well, when you are an instrumentalist, for the keyboard it's a little bit different because normally the keyboard is tuned, or if it's out of tune, then you can tune it. But if you sing, or if you play any instrument, like violin, flute, cello, whatever, intonation, of course, is something very important, and you did it well. Not that the other did wrong, but you did especially, and it was not easy, this kind of songs with this kind of intervals. And the last things which it gave me some comments to be given, it's the overture, this little excerpt of Rossini, Willem Tell, who played the Willem Tell overture. You did. It was funny because it's exactly the music of Rossini. Now, for you, the challenge is to achieve the right speed, which is, as you know, maybe you've heard the original, which is the 4th and last part of the overture, which is played with brass, trumpet, horns, trombone, etc., with a very, very rapid rhythm. And this music is often used in the movies, in the cartoons, when there is an animal, going to catch another one, a cat and the mouse, etc. etc. This is the real tempo. It's a little bit under what I've said. Just to sum up, so it was a very, very nice moment. First, second, it gave me the impression that I knew already, because I made many years in music and orchestras and conducting and blah 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 blah. That of course music is something universal, and the other thing is that this universal music is something, whatever kind of music it is, music is, I wouldn't say above all the other arts, but somehow it has something very special in it. I mean, it goes directly in your brain, without any interference. if you go to look for a nice monument, for example, we organized some weeks ago a great piano concert and the Victoria Memorial. Victoria Memorial, whatever you like it or you don't like, it's a beautiful, architectural achievement, without doubt. So, but when you consider the Victoria Memorial, then of course you see, okay, it's beautiful because of the proportion, because of the greatness, because of the white color, because of the red, etc. And then this is some reflection, about the monuments, about the surroundings, etc., etc. With music, it doesn't work like this. Music, you have nothing to think about, it comes directly, and so sometimes you are sensitive to it, sometimes not, depending on the kind of music you like, depending on the mood you are in. But this is probably one of the reasons why, once again, music is not over all other arts, but it's something apart, I would say. And to finish, I would like to thank you, because probably you are the teacher of the group. So bravo for the John Lennon song, which is as well from the 60s, probably 60-something. Yeah, of course, it's probably in the Abbey Road album to be found or something. It was recorded in London in the late 60s, beginning of the 70s. Bravo for your talent as well. So I didn't mention everybody, but my congratulations go to you all, because a concert is not only one people or two people or three people. You perform almost 40-50 minutes of music, which is not nothing, and so it went directly, to my sensibility without going through my brain, which is the most important. Thank you very much for this pleasure you gave to me.
I have a question.
Please.
The question is that I think everybody can hear me. In India, academics are very important. I think it's everywhere in the world, but more so in a country like India. They come once a week for a music class, for a very short period of time. And mostly they don't listen to good quality music these days, because they listen to the very new age music, and neglecting the classical music and the music of the 50s and 60s and 70s. And also in many cases they don't take out regular time for practice. So what will be your suggestion? And what are your tips to guide them or to inspire them, or to inspire the teachers also?
I think, your generation, it was not the case with mine, but your generation has a great advantage, or let's say a great tool, which name is very famous, and which name is YouTube. And really, it's amazing, because almost, maybe not every music ever penned by men or women, but really most of the music ever written is in YouTube. The question is, of course, sometimes the interpretation is beautiful, sometimes it's a little bit less, but okay. You have a lot of tutorials, of course I know, especially for Western classical music, you have a lot of teachers, teaching